Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Dallas, Texas, and 7 p.m. in New York City. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog the Scipio, and this is America's Best Popcast. What's the buzz? Tonight, a very special show on the record, and we will discover the hunt for the BTK killer. Tonight, Dennis Rader is in the spotlight, and let me introduce you to my co-host, this pain in the ass, God help you. Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. How are you, Amelia?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. What'd you do for fun today?
Just get on the computer and started to look.
What'd you do for fun today?
Actually, went to Culver's. Actually, it's a good
There
place
you
here.
go.
They
Some people have fun going shopping. There you go.
well, they actually
This
opened.
woman, what she does for fun. I went on the computer. Oh, there you go.
They opened
You
one
look
over.
for work, and okay.
They opened up a couple of them here, which is pretty good. We didn't know that it's better than Long John Silver's or Captain D's. And so
What do you got? Oh, you got Captain D's there?
yeah, but
Did you really?
yeah,
Their food's not big. They're all over Tennessee.
yeah.
Captain D's is all over the place. We had, what was that? Long John Silver was the other place that's kind of like Captain D's.
Mhm.
We had one up here, was the only one we had, and they closed it about 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's expensive though. I mean, Captain D, so might as well just go to Red Lobster if you're going to spend the money.
I mean, yeah, if you think about what you're paying for that fish, and
Yeah.
I could sit down in Red Lobster and have crab legs for that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Damn. Yeah, no, for real. I'm not even
Mhm.
kidding.
Yeah, and I also
It's
worked
not
on my
cheap.
diamond art today, so I got to catch up on that.
Oh, there you go. You did that for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Well, we are going to do. This is not. I was going to say it's the last, but it's not. We
No.
have one more show on serial killers to do next week. We're going to do Charles Manson, but that's
Yeah.
kind of a special show anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Tonight we're doing Dennis Rader. Now, a lot of people don't even know the name Dennis Rader, but if I say to you, Amelia,
Mhm.
old Pitbull herself, if I say to you, who's the BTK killer? You know
Yeah.
who I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely, because they made movies of him already on
God, yeah.
Lifetime and documentaries,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
can.
The other thing too, and people who know their serial killer history here, like us, the interesting thing about the BTK kill. Hold on, folks. I got my microphone got like a life of its own tonight.
It's going wee.
Yes, it's swinging all over the places.
Mhm.
That happened the other day too. Like there was a ghost in the room moving.
Sounds like somebody wanting your attention.
They're always getting my attention around here.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
But we have this Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, but a lot of people don't know this unless you know your, twisted serial killer history.
Mm-hmm.
Who did he? And I know you know the answer to this one,
Mm-hmm.
and I know because if you don't, I'm going to slap you up and down. Who did he model himself after?
Of course, Jack the Ripper, of course.
I'm going to kill her.
Just kidding.
Not the Ripper. The other one.
H.H. Holmes.
No.
Oh.
You're batting 1,000 here. You're
Oh my
2 for
goodness.
2. The Zodiac.
The Zodiac killer, right? Well, of course, because he sent the letters to the police and the newspapers, of
That's
course.
what I'm telling you. Exactly.
Hmm.
We're going to read some of them tonight too.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the BTK killer, people don't know it's because of the initials. The that he stood for was a bind, and then the torture and the kill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So he
Well, that's
loved
what,
that.
and that's what the Zodiac did.
The
He
same thing.
found his. Think about what the Zodiac did. It should be fresh on your mind because
Right.
we just did the show.
But the thing is that this guy here didn't care if it was men, women, or children, but of course he did the
Oh
women.
wait,
So
he took a whole family out.
yeah,
We're going to
he
talk
did.
about them.
Yeah.
They were a Hispanic family too,
Mhm.
and he targeted them purposely because they
Yes.
were Hispanic. We are going to talk about this twisted guy named Dennis Rader. Well, let me give you a little bit of a background here. So, who was Dennis Rader? Well, he was obviously he was a serial killer who terrorized the Midwest around Wichita, Kansas. Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah.
He worked that area. Because he lived there. He grew up there. He was born in Kansas. He
Yeah.
was born in Pittsburgh, Kansas. This guy. And from around 1974, listen to this one. This just blows my mind. From 74 to 91, he killed 30 people.
That's a lot of people. Oh,
30. He confessed to 30. They found about 14 of them.
Yeah.
Because, again, one of the things that serial killers have in common, they're very mobile. They move around a lot. And Dennis Rader was no different than Zodiac or the Ripper or Peter Sutcliffe. Any of those. He moved.
Right.
He never stayed in one place long enough.
No, not long enough to where he would get caught. He liked to go to different places so he could continue his little crime.
And it was it was kind of surprising though that he settled down in Kansas City because he became a member of his church. He was in political government in the town.
Family man, everything.
Family guy. Took the pictures at graduations and birthday parties. This guy was not camera shy. Let me tell you,
he was not. He fooled his family thinking there was just an American family. All American family. He fooled his family.
I found a picture tonight. It's one of the very few that exist of his wife. Because you're going to see pictures of his wife where they blur out her face. I found one photo where she finally said, okay, this is me. This is who I am. Right.
Yeah.
And when you see his wife and you see his daughter, they could pass for twins.
Wow.
And the scary part is he was very, very, very close to his daughter. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. The daughter's talking, by the way.
Oh, yes.
She's
finally.
talking. One of the things that he did, he came about this, like Amelia said, he came about this nickname, BTK, for bind, torture, and kill. Those are three things that he got absolutely directly from his hero, the Zodiac. Now, you got to remember something. The Zodiac, it's funny, Amelia. We just talked about this.
Yeah.
The Zodiac killed from 1968 to 1974. When did Dennis Rader begin his killing spree?
Around the 1974 time after the Zodiac stopped.
It's exactly when he started when the Zodiac stopped.
Yes.
Because he was so, I hate to use this
infatuated
word.
And
I was going to use that. I was going to say that. Infatuated by, mesmerized by, taken with.
Yes.
The Zodiac, choose whatever adjective you want. He was so enamored by the Zodiac that he was, you'll see, it was just like him. Everything, his motive, the things he said, the things he did, even his twisted disguise. Of course, he couldn't use. When serial killers, they're folks, they're twisted. Okay, because bear with me and follow the logic, because it's twisted and it's crazy. Dennis Rader was going to don the Zodiac hood. He was going to have like that kind of hood. But he didn't want to offend the Zodiac. So he didn't don the hood.
He didn't want to be a copycat.
Okay. What he did, he became fixated on this mask. And it's a mask. It's a woman's mask.
Yeah, a female mask. And then he would dress up in women's
And you're
clothing.
going to see pictures of Dennis Rader you've never seen before. They're now, they're, what do you want to put? Declassified. They're out in the public now. This guy, again, like the Zodiac, wrote letters. He taunted the police, the authorities. He wrote letters to newspapers. His alter ego, this twisted, ne'er-do-well, he actually thought, and again, it's the mindset, guys. It's that twisted mindset. He thought he was doing society a favor by eliminating certain people. The Mexican family he killed, they were a disgrace to him because they weren't pure white. Okay. The girls, they were, hookers, or they were prostitutes, or, they were sluts in his mind. They were talking about college girls.
Because of the way they dress.
A grandmother. He killed a grandmother. Now, I'm going to show you a slideshow. You're going to see his victims from oldest to youngest, including the Otero family. Okay. One of the things you're going to notice is there's no rhyme or reason to who he chose. No rhyme or reason whatsoever. The only male he ever killed, the only male, was Mr. Otero, the father of this Hispanic family. But let me read on. Rader's alter ego surfaced in 2004 with his penchant for leaving clues. Why do you want to leave clues, Melia?
So that way he can taunt the police or taunt the investigators, and then get caught as well eventually.
And that's the key right there, what Amelia just said. To taunt the cops, but he wanted to get caught. I'm going to read you something that's never been read before. I'm going to do it right now at the beginning of the show, because I found this fascinating. What I'm going to read to you, it was pretty much right in line with what the Zodiac said. Here's what he said. And this comes right from the police. He sent his... Here's what happened. He was angered, just like the Zodiac. He was angered that the press didn't pay much attention to him. Okay. His first kill made the papers, but it got little publicity.
A tiny bit of,
it was a little blurb. Yeah, it was a little blurb. Oh, who's joining us here? There you go. Yeah, Leon. We're talking about that too, Leon. But bear with me here, brother. So what he did was he sent letters to newspapers. He sent them to the television station. Of course, the police. They got more letters than anybody, because
absolutely.
He's like dangling the carrot in front of the cops. So here's what he says. How many people do I have to kill before I get my name in the paper or some national attention? He writes. Before reeling off a list of suggested names, including the BTK Strangler, the Wichita Hangman, the Asphyxiator. These are names he made up for himself. And he was asking, now listen, you got to have a set of balls to do this. He's asking the cops and the newspapers. He's asking them, pick a name for me. That's you got to have a set of cojones
All
to
right.
do that.
Give me something. Give me
You
a
want the
nickname.
press to pick your moniker.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what they did? Well, fuck you, asshole. You're the BTK killer,
Yeah. And there you
right?
go. That came about that. And
And
this,
then he had to explain to them what BTK was:
yeah.
bind, torture, kill.
Mm.
Here you go. I'm gonna read this. Here you go. Wichita Police Chief Richard Lamunion subsequently calls a news conference to reveal for the first time the presence of the BTK killer in his area. We have no reason but to believe that this individual has the capability to kill again, he said. The killer's words also echo across the decades. This is again directly from the Zodiac. This is what Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, said. Took it directly from Zodiac. Quote, when this monster enters my brain, I will never know. So it hit him at any time. But it's here to stay, he says. Maybe you can stop him because I can't.
Mm.
Now, I don't know about you, Neil, but that's screaming about a guy that wants to get caught.
Oh, absolutely. He's like,
That's
catch me because I don't know what I'll do next, kind of
that's
thing.
exactly what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what he's saying. You
Mm-hmm.
guys better catch me if you can, because if not, guess what, kids? I'm going to go out and hurt some
Mm-hmm.
more people.
The only thing is that I know that he was the eldest of four brothers, but I know his
Yeah.
parents worked a lot and had long hours, but it doesn't fit the profile of the other killers that we've had before of the bad childhood or the drunk dad because it doesn't mention anything that I could find.
It actually does.
Oh, you found something that I couldn't find? You must have.
Yeah. Here's the interesting thing about Dennis Rader. While it's true that a lot of these people were only child,
Mm-hmm.
or they were always funny though. They
Mm-hmm.
were always the youngest of siblings, if
Right.
they even had siblings.
Correct. Yeah.
Most of them were only children. The interesting thing about BTK Dennis Rader is he was the youngest of four. Now, follow me. His parents worked a lot. It was a middle class income household.
Right.
The father made like 25,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
The mother made like 15 or 20 grand a year. $45,000 back then was a lot of money for
It
a
was a
family.
lot of money. Absolutely.
Okay, but you got to remember his older siblings. They had school, they had girlfriends, they had dates, they had little jobs too. So a lot of times Dennis Rader was left by himself, or he was the quote unquote tag along,
Mm-hmm.
the third wheel. Well, if he's the third wheel, let's say, here you go. I'll give you an example. Something I read. He had to go on a date with one of his older brothers. Okay, he was the third wheel because he was a little snot nosed kid,
Mm-hmm.
like 13 or 14, right? I think his brother was 18 or 19.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So he gets tagged. They got to tag him along. Well, what do you think he sees, Neil?
Oh, them kissing and touching each other and
There you go.
yeah.
You nailed it right off the bat.
Mhm,
That's exactly what he sees.
mhm.
He sees them being affectionate to each other. They're kissing. They're holding hands. They're feeling each other up. They're getting a little
Mhm.
nookie,
Right.
And brother puts his hand over his eyes, don't look,
Mhm.
right? So that's going to come back later on in life to haunt him too, because that's what he did to a
That's where
lot of
those
people.
voyeurism comes in.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yes. He did that in almost every case, particularly to single women. And here's the funny thing. Like I said before, and I don't understand this. So you and I, Amelia, we got to talk about it.
Mhm.
I don't understand why for him it was as equally satisfying to kill an old woman as it was a 14-year-old girl.
That is horrible. It's like he got his
And
spit right there.
you're going to see this. I'm going to show people, those of you that are watching on TV, on YouTube TV, or on some of our television outlets, YouTube, YouTube TV, Odyssey.com, some of Vimeo, some of our video outlets. You're going to see something that the radio listeners can't see, but I'm going to describe it to them as we're seeing this in a few minutes. In fact, I'm going to play it fairly early, but I want to get this commercial break in first, so we're going to be right back.
Okay.
So, folks, try not to keep your eyes off of me too long because I know you're going to miss me. In the meantime, you can watch Amelia. We'll be right back. Watch this, folks. Where are we at? Here it is. For expert bodywork and collision repair, there's only one place in Clementon, New Jersey. It's Bruce's Collision Center at 114 White Horse Pike in Clementon, New Jersey. Call Bruce at 856-783-1475 and tell him the Mad Dog sent you from WWTF Radio, global and around the world. This is WWTF Radio 88.7 on the BRS worldwide. Somebody said to me once, what is BRS, Mad Dog? That stands for the Broadband Radio System. That is global. That includes Armed Forces Radio, folks. We are, God help us, but the military's listening to it. No. I might get a knock on my door from the FBI one.
Hey, not me, because I love our military.
What are you talking about down there, sir? Everything I want to. Anyway, so we are back. Tonight, Amelia and I broached the subject of Dennis Rader and the hunt for the BTK killer. We're going to see a video now. Now, Amelia, I want you might want to take notes on this one because it goes by fairly quickly.
People, viewer discretion is advised kind of thing too.
Yeah, well, that's why I put a disclaimer at the beginning. Yeah. I want to just tell everyone, if there are children in the room watching this with you, you might want to close their eyes or escort them out for a minute. There's some material here that is sensitive, of a both a graphic and sexual nature. There are real scenes of death that you'll see. Not that I'm not promoting that, but the man did what he did, and the police did have to take pictures. And so, we are, Amelia and I, we are reporters. The first and foremost, we are reporters, and that's what we're doing. We are reporting the news. So, without any further ado, Amelia, let's watch this. Did you happen to catch that, Mill?
Yeah, that was creepy.
This is called the killer's toolbox.
Yeah, that's the female mask that he would wear.
He had two. He had two. He liked the first one so much that he went out and got another one. But what he did with the second mask was really freaky, and you're looking at it. He put rosy red cheeks on it. You're looking at it. He put rosy red cheeks. He put false eyelashes on it. Red lipstick. Amelia, describe that mask to people.
Yeah, and it looks like he's got like white hair from a doll, or it looks more like a prostitute. But it wouldn't surprise me if that lipstick didn't belong to one of the victims.
It looks like a hooker, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the eyelashes, it wouldn't surprise me if it belonged to one of the victims as well, that he might have gotten it from. Or even the lipstick.
Funny that you should say that, young lady, because there were people when they first saw this, the police actually thought that there was a face behind it.
Hmm.
I want you to look at that where the eyes are.
Yes.
Look at the eyes.
Yeah, it looks like there's
Doesn't it
eyes.
look like there's something behind it?
It looks like there's an eyeball right there. It
It
would be on
does.
our right, but it looks to the left.
And
Yeah.
apparently the police thought that too, until they realized that that was just it.
A mask.
It was not only was it was what was behind the mask,
Mhm.
that surface there, that flat surface.
Mhm.
But you're looking there, and what we're looking at here are a ball gag, a whip. You're looking at hand restraints. You're looking at chains. You're looking at a small flashlight. You can see that little blue
Oh
flashlight
yeah, right on
there.
the top. Yes.
You're looking. There's a pair of handcuffs in there.
And
This
zip
was
ties,
he
right?
called this. What he did was Dennis Rader, Amelia, and everybody. He went on to the computer and he typed in killer's toolbox, and this is what came up. The things that if you can believe it, the things that come up that every killer should have: rope,
Wow.
a garrote, a ball gag, hand restraints, ankle restraints, handcuffs. Again, all this.
And a mask that he went a little too far on.
Yeah, and the mask was creepy. It's just
Yeah.
it's really creepy. It's
It,
odd. It's really odd.
yeah, and
But
the
this is the
hair
kind
is
of stuff, though.
creepy. Yeah.
And if you look at Dennis Rader in his first court appearance,
He
he's
looks
got this.
very angry.
Well, no, they said no. Believe it or not, I thought so too
Mm-hmm.
until I read this. From the woman that used to date him in high school said Dennis always looked like that. He always had a dead stare
Hmm.
on his face. His eyes never changed.
Wow.
The only thing that ever changed was his mustache. Sometimes he had it and sometimes he shaved it off, which was kind of, people, it's fun because people who have mustaches and beards, they usually have them for a long time before they shave them,
Right.
unless you're the kind of guy that moves around a lot and you don't want people to discover what you really look like.
Right. That's a good disguise.
A mustache and a pair of sunglasses goes a long way. Let's take a look at this. There's that mask, Amelia.
Mm-hmm. Right there. Looks like it's on a
There's,
doll.
and by the way, who do you think that is in that chair?
Looks like a doll or something that they put it on.
No,
Oh,
it's him.
really?
It's him.
Oh my God. It looks like a doll. If
And
you look
guess
at it
what?
closely.
His wife took the picture.
Oh my God.
He asked his wife to take a picture of him.
Oh,
She said, okay. And then he said, I'll be right back. Folks, this is all public record.
but
You
the
can
way
read the transcripts.
and the way it looks so far away, it looks like it's like a doll, a picture of a doll.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. But if you look
Mhm.
really closely,
Mm-hmm.
the giveaway on him is the arms.
The arm that's onto the side.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's over the armrest.
exactly.
Mhm.
And that's the giveaway.
You know what it reminds me
That's
of?
the giveaway.
Annabelle, that doll, that cursed doll.
Yeah, that's the creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look down, and I believe it's in the right-hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the other mask.
Oh yes, I can
He
see
had
that.
one mask that he was wearing. That was his favorite one, by the way. The one with the makeup and the rosy red cheeks and the
Mhm.
red lips and all that, right? That was his favorite. He wore that all the time, they said. But he had another one. The prosecutor is holding that other mask up there, Amelia. See that little mask
Yeah,
there?
that one has more of the female features and things like that, like we used to wear
You're
when we were.
going to see that mask in a minute when they actually found it. Watch. That's his daughter.
Wow.
Now, I want you to look. On the right-hand side, you see two victims there.
Yes.
Both young college girls, okay?
Mhm.
21 years old, 20 years old, young, in college.
Wow.
That's his daughter with him. Keep that in mind because I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Amelia sees it. Yep. That's a real picture, folks. Dennis Rader took that picture after he killed that girl. Okay?
For memorabilia?
She's
Oh my God.
for memorabilia.
Oh my gosh.
Do you see that drawing down the bottom?
Yeah, looks exactly like what he did to
That's
sort of except for
exactly
the
what
hands
he
in the
did to the girl.
front
Yeah.
or in the back, and then this one.
Yeah. But remember what I said about his brothers putting the hands over their eyes?
Yes.
Look at the girl's face is covered.
Is it covered completely? She can't see anything.
She can't see anything. He didn't want her to see nothing,
Mm-mm.
just like his brothers didn't want him to see anything. That poor girl died there, bound by the foot, ankle, bound at the knee, with a hood around her face,
Yes.
and a rope around her neck.
And hung.
Hung. Okay? I told you, folks, this is a graphic show. If you got, again, I warn you again, if you have young ones, you do not want them watching this.
The drawing
If
looks
you
so
need to turn
detailed.
the show off tonight, Amelia and I understand completely if this is not the kind of show you want to see.
Yeah,
But we have to report this.
the drawing is so detailed.
Well, say again, Neil?
The drawing is so detailed.
Very detailed,
very
yeah.
detailed.
Very much so, very detailed about, he knew what he wanted.
Mhm.
And that's the thing about serial killers. They know what they want. And they know that they want you to acknowledge them. They want you to.
Yes.
Charles Manson, Eileen Wuornos, Dennis Rader, the Zodiac, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Gary L. Hart, the Green River Killer.
Right.
Okay? They want you to notice them. The one thing, every name that I just mentioned has one thing in common. Every one of them taunted the police.
Yes.
Everyone. Come and get me. That's what they said. Come and get me. Now you're looking at the headline. For those of you who are listening on radio, the BTK is arrested. This is the Sunday Eagle newspaper in Kansas City, around the Wichita area, Kansas City, Kansas, around Wichita, Kansas. The whole state of Kansas was on buzz about this BTK killer.
And guess what? He got what he wanted, the front page.
Oh, he got the front page. He became famous, all right,
Mm-hmm.
for all the wrong reasons. Let's watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're looking at the victims. Now, this is 10 of them. He says, again, he says that he killed 30. Now, Amelia, who other that we heard about recently? What other serial killer exaggerated their numbers?
I know that it was the Ripper did. I know that, and of course H.H. Holmes, but we didn't really get to do a one on him as well. That I saw that exaggerated his numbers as well. And
Well, the Ripper
also,
did for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
But one closer to home, Zodiac.
The Zodiac did as well, and also that they couldn't find a lot of them was the Killer Clown one that we did. John Wayne Gacy.
Wait a minute. I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you brought that up because they just found another body.
Oh my gosh!
From John Wayne Gacy.
Oh my.
In fact, I'm going to tell you who it was. Give me folks. I'm going to do some research on the air.
Yeah. And I think that the one that you said that the elderly lady that he killed, he probably killed her because she could have reminded him of his mother. Because as we know, there was rumored that he felt that his mother didn't pay that much attention to him, and he regretted that he lived to regret that his mother didn't pay that much attention to him growing up, and he lived to regret that he didn't have that much of attention of his mother.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I believe, I'm not certain, I'm not gonna say allegedly, maybe that's why he killed the elderly lady.
The person, they just identified him after 40 years.
Wow.
40 years. They just identified the latest victim of John Wayne Gacy. His name is his name is Francis Alexander, and
Wow.
he's from Chicago.
Mm.
His name is Francis Alexander. He was 20. They believe he was probably 21 to
Oh,
22, 23 around
oh.
there in his early 20s.
At least
But
his
that's the one.
family can get peace now.
Yeah, yeah, they gave him a name, thank God.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um we were looking at, like I said, the 10
Mhm.
the entire Otero family, and I wish they had placed them in order here. Well, yeah, they actually did.
They did it 1 through 4, right?
There's the husband, the wife, the 5-year-old son, God help him,
Mm.
and the 7-year-old
Oh.
daughter. Those are the first 4 people, numbered 1 through 4.
Mm.
That's the Otero family. Number 5 through number 10 are people he killed indiscriminately. Now you look at them; they're women of all different ages.
Yeah, and hair color's different, not some of
And,
them have a
yeah,
particular
he's
hair
got
color.
no type.
No, none at
He
all.
has no type. No, he doesn't have a profile.
No.
Like we know that Zodiac liked young couples,
Right.
pretty young women and young couples. Okay, we
Right.
know that. Ted Bundy liked brown-haired
Mhm.
young girls between 18 and 23.
Correct.
Okay. Now you got this guy comes along and he's all over the place,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, he's just
And
whatever is in front of him, basically.
yeah, exactly. Let's take a look.
Mhm.
By the way, Amelia, take a look at
Mhm.
that photo.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you see how different he looks without his glasses?
Very different.
Do you see why it would be so easy to shave off the mustache and beard,
Oh, yes, and he would
take
be a
your
totally.
glasses off, put a
Mhm.
baseball cap on? Guess what?
Mhm.
The greatest disguise in the world is a baseball cap and a
Absolutely.
pair of sunglasses. You know why?
Mhm.
Because you'll fit right in.
Oh, yeah, even
How
if he
many
was.
thousands of people that walk around every day? You see them all day long. People wearing a baseball cap and a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, or people walk around to where, places of business and like, "Oh, I didn't recognize you without your cowboy hat on or your
Exactly.
cap or without your glasses."
Exactly right.
Mhm.
Now look what it says. Dennis Rader arrested after getting away with murder for over 30 years.
Wow.
Now, he says that he killed more than 30 people. I happen to believe him on that. I'm going to tell you why. If he killed, if they say he killed 10 people, over a 30-year period, he killed 10 people. I don't think that's correct. I
Yeah.
think that's a low ball number. I think he was telling the truth when he said he killed more than 30,
Oh, I believe so.
because that would average one a year.
Yes.
You could do that. You could get away with killing a person a year for as long as you wanted to until you got caught.
Yeah.
And guess what? The BTK killer never got caught
No.
and killed 30 that we know about.
That we know about, exactly. That
And
was
that's
a good
just we
point.
know about. It's crazy. This guy is the most, in some ways, I really feel like BTK killer was in some ways the most dangerous of all of them.
Especially with one of the jobs that he had, ADT.
Well, yeah. Well, wait. I'm gonna tell you what kind of jobs he
Yeah.
had.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, it gets better. That, by the way, folks, this is, you see this, that grave there, Amelia?
Yes. Uh-huh.
All right. Now, folks at home, you can see this if you're watching it. The radio audience cannot. We're looking at a shallow grave where one of the bodies of the BTK killer, Dennis
Was,
Rader's victims, was found.
was that in his backyard or somebody's backyard? Do you know?
No, he dug it. You're gonna laugh when I tell you're
Uh-huh.
gonna cringe when I tell you.
Mhm.
It was the backyard of a church.
What?
Don't forget, he was a deacon in the church.
Oh
He
my.
had the keys to the church. He had the
Oh.
keys to the church, this sick guy.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yes. This is the Otero family.
Mm.
Okay. That whole family, that kid can't be more than maybe 5 or 6.
That's what I was gonna say. He looks like a 5-year-old little kid.
How old would you say the little girl is? Maybe about 6 or 7?
7, maybe 8 years old, maybe.
Okay. And then mom and dad right there.
In their 30s, maybe.
And no, I don't think they're that old. I think they're probably in their middle to late 20s.
Late 20s, yeah, 25, 26 years
I don't
old.
think
Probably.
I don't think the mom or the dad is anywhere near 30
Maybe
in that picture.
27-ish, maybe
They
29.
look maybe 26, 27. I'll give you that. Yeah. I'll give you that for sure. But let me tell you why he killed them. Because they were Hispanic. That's the only reason he killed them. Because they were Hispanic. Watch. This woman doesn't fit any profile. Why he killed this poor woman, I have no idea. She was a 72-year-old grandmother that worked in the school district. Now, what beef do you have with her? What did she do?
Could it have been that he reminded her of him of maybe his own mother or grandmother that wasn't around?
You know what? I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to argue with you on that one because I happen to think that maybe you're somewhere about right on that one. Let's take a look at these. I'm just going to let these play. Watch. Now,
Oh my.
again, that's Dennis Rader. Okay.
Oh.
He told, again, this is crazy stuff, folks, but you can check everything that we're showing you. You can check it out. He asked his wife to take a picture of him. All right. And what he basically is doing is he's mock hanging himself. Now, if you look behind him, there's a rope holding him up from the chest.
Right.
Okay? There's not a rope around his neck. There's a dog collar around his neck, by the way. That's a dog collar around his neck. The rope is around his chest holding him up. You see where his arms are?
Yeah, they're behind
Nowhere
him.
near his neck. So he's in no danger of being hung. But if you got to have, like I said before, you got to have a real brass set of cojones to ask your wife. And by the way, you'll see his wife's face is blurred out.
Is he wearing a bra?
No, what you're looking at, it's a singlet. It actually comes over his shoulder.
Okay.
It's what it actually is a woman's nightgown. Is like, what do they call, like
a negligee?
Well, thank you, or what they used to call them, the teddies, or yeah, it's a negligee is what it is. It's just something that a woman would wear to go to sleep in.
Yeah.
But we already know that he loved to dress up in women's clothes.
Absolutely.
We know that for sure because it really sickened his wife. You know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It made his wife like cringe. Like, what are you doing?
That made me cringe. I was like, ugh. What I did
Amelia,
notice,
do me a favor, Amelia.
yes,
Would you sorry folks, we have a problem here.
I
Would
think
you
you can
take
block
that
them.
yeah, thank you for getting rid of that, please.
Okay, I think you're the one that can block them because I can't.
Oh no, you know what? They're on Twitch.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
What
we're
I
just
did
gonna have to
notice,
ignore them. Okay, go ahead.
the other victims, except for one of them, had a little bit of shoulder length hair, but the other one, ladies, had very very short hair. I did notice that
I
in the
thought
pictures.
about that too,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have agreed with you. I
Mm-hmm.
would agree with you if that were the case. Problem is,
Mm-hmm.
the difference is the vast difference in ages.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, that's the only similarity that I saw, basically. But everything else was
Yeah.
different. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the problem I have is I would agree with the profile type
Mm-hmm.
because it would certainly stand to reason.
Right.
We know for a fact, we know based on his history that
Right.
Ted Bundy loved young girls between 18 and 23 with long brown hair, right?
Right.
Long brown hair. You'll notice that none of Ted Bundy's victims were blonde or redhead.
Right. Right. Exactly.
They all had brown hair, long, and none of them had short hair,
Man.
right? And he dated these women before he killed them. Dated them.
Hmm.
And how he got away with that, I have no idea. But watch this. That's the crime scene photo. That picture should speak 1,000 words.
Mm.
It was found right where you see it on the dirt. And that is a police. Let me take this down here. Actual crime scene photo. It's an evidence photo. That was used in court. Okay. You'll notice, Amelia, you see there's a string attached to it.
Correct. Yes. Uh-huh.
That's you know how a mask has that little string?
Yeah, the string that binds the mask, you can put it on.
That's exactly what it is. That's the elastic string for the mask.
He must have left in a hurry. He must have.
He did leave in a hurry, and he got caught right after that too. Now, look at this. Is from his job, by the way. Dennis Rader worked. Can't make it up, folks. He worked for the government. He did. Can't make it up, folks.
Scary thought.
Telling you the truth. He worked for the government. He worked for the city of Wichita, Kansas. He worked for an outdoor supply company.
A dog.
One of the things that was disturbing about him as a kid, he loved killing stray animals.
Yeah.
We've seen that play out time and time again with serial killers.
Yeah.
You know, they for whatever reason, they get off on killing animals. Mm-hmm. So if you can kill an animal, you could kill a person. That's the idea behind it. In 1971, he married his wife, Paula Dietz, who became Paula Dietz Rader. You're going to see a picture of Paula Dietz. I want you to look at her picture because I'm going to show you another picture right after that. That should send shivers up your spine. But let's watch this first. I want you to look at him. You see where he's at?
Mm-hmm.
Notice where he's at.
Yes.
He's at the very back row, hiding behind two other large men. Now, here's the remarkable thing. Every letter that he wrote to the newspaper, the police, radio stations, every note that he wrote, he wanted to be famous. He wanted people to notice him. That doesn't look like a guy.
Not in that picture.
No. And by the way, you see the guy with the other red
The
circle around him? The guy
with a gray
kneeling?
suit. Mm-hmm.
That's his brother.
Oh.
His brother got him the job. That's his older brother. It's probably the brother he was with when he went on the date as a third wheel. Because he's about the same age as Dennis Rader's older brother. Okay, this is his wife. Now look at his wife.
Oh, yeah.
She's a pretty lady,
Yes.
right? She's got a pretty wife. Now, again, this is his wife. Take a look at this. All right? There you go.
Wow.
That's his daughter.
There could be twins.
They could be twins. His wife and his daughter are like Xerox copies. That's his daughter graduating from college. You could see she's holding the Kansas State University diploma in her hand. Very clearly, it says Kansas State University, which they call it KSU, right?
Yes.
That's his daughter. The daughter and the wife look identical, but there's one problem. He stopped sleeping with his wife. Stopped sleeping with her. But he was very, very, quote unquote, close with his daughter. Now, his daughter is talking now about her father. She changed her name. She got married. She won't tell anybody where she lives, but she does do interviews if you request it. I actually thought about it, but I said, you know what? Really, do we really want to bother this poor woman after all she's been through?
Yeah.
So let's watch.
Oh my goodness.
Now, did you see what I saw?
Yeah.
Look at that.
An action figure? Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. Folks, I'm not even making this up. If you're watching on video, you can see. That's the BTK killer doll. Am I lying, Amelia?
Why would I'm
because and wait a minute, it's got a piece of a letter in it. Look at it.
Yeah,
there's a piece of a letter in it. All right. What they do, there's a group. You can't, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening and you're watching, I promise you, you cannot make this stuff up. There is a company, and it's legal. They have made a deal with a bunch of prisons. I don't know why. Who gets the money? I don't know. But I know that the inmate does not get the money. That I know for sure. That this is the Dennis Rader doll, the BTK killer doll. And it looks just like him.
It does, exactly.
And they sell thousands of them. Okay? Thousands. What do you think that doll will cost you, Amelia, with a handwritten letter from Dennis Rader?
Probably $49.99.
What can you expect to pay for that?
Probably $49.99.
How about 300 plus?
Oh my goodness.
$300 plus. A minimum $299 and up.
And you know what the bad thing about that is that gives serial killers a bad idea. Because I know that serial killers will.
Wait a minute. No, it's no. Wait. You, I gotta tell you a little something that I found out. They have one of Zodiac.
What?
They have one of Jim Jones. They have one of Charles Manson, Eileen Wuornos. They have one of Ted Bundy. They have one of the Boston Strangler, I'm not even making this up. Go online and look at all the killer. Just type in.
I've seen
They
one of
even have one
Leatherface.
of John Wayne Gacy with the clown makeup.
Yeah, I've seen one of Leatherface, but I didn't. I was surprised that they had one of this because of the
Oh,
you know.
no. This is for real. This is like
Oh
a
my
real
God,
thing.
who collects
You,
these
you,
things anyway?
and that's the
Future.
key right there. Who collects them? The fact is that they do collect them. That's why there's a market for them. The company is called, I got it right here. The company is called Toe Tag.
Oh my gosh,
Judged by you whatever you want to say.
that's a scary thought of the who collects these because
It's
think of
called Toe Tag.
that's.
Now, you know what a toe tag is.
Oh yeah, that they put that on you when you're dead.
Then when you're dead.
Yeah,
That's the company. It's called Toe Tag. Right? Anyway.
that's a scary thought of who collects these because you never know.
Yeah,
what
well,
they'll
it sure the hell is. Let me do one more spot here, Mill, and then we'll come
Mhm.
back and you can fill everybody in. Do you have sweaty balls? Or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code WrestlingFuture for a generous 20% discount. That's enter WrestlingFuture for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. Back with Amelia's favorite commercial spot from Manscaped.com.
I know.
And what's the buzz? America's Best Podcast. Well, that was an interesting show tonight. I thought it would be fascinating to kind of revisit the BTK killer because the more research I did about him, the more I shook my head. I thought, you gotta be kidding me that he got away with this stuff for so many years, and he was a member of the community, a standing member of the community. They loved him.
Yeah.
He was a member of his church. He taught Sunday school. Could you imagine? He taught Sunday school.
And then people let him in their home for ADT because they were
He's been in
scared.
people's homes around their kids and their pets, God forbid. But
And get this, the reason that people bought the ADT system is because they were scared of the BTK killer. That's what they told them.
yeah,
They told him that.
exactly.
And he was right there in their house.
It makes you shake your head.
Exactly. I was like, oh my goodness, people. Oh my goodness. If you only
Well,
knew
I'll
who
tell you
know.
what, Amelia, tell everybody what we got coming up.
Well, you actually have a busy morning on the May 6th.
I know. Please.
This Monday.
I know. I got up early last Monday. Had the wrong day.
Right. Remember, it's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern time for everyone that wants to see you with this.
I'll try to remember.
It's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern time, which will be pretty early for the Pacific time.
Yeah, I know, right? 7 a.m. in California, LA. We're going to have Rita Gigante here. Rita is a well-known psychic and medium, but more so, her real claim to fame isn't the fact that she's a psychic. Her real claim to fame is her father. Her father was a notoriously brutal a killer, really. I'm just call a spade a spade. Her father was a killer named Vincent the Chin Gigante. He ran the New York Mafia for years in a bathrobe, walking around his neighborhood acting like a crazy man, all the while doing business. But there's something a lot of people don't know that I found out. Are you ready for this one? He was also an informant for the federal government. He was giving info to the cops
Hmm.
at the same time he was killing people.
Just imagine if there was cell phones back then, how much business he'd really be doing.
Oh, wait a minute. See, back in the day, they used to have pay phones.
Mm-hmm.
Put a quarter in. Those were great because you can't trace them.
No, you can't trace them.
Public now they got phones. Now you can't trace them. You throw them away.
Yep.
Disposable phones.
Yep. Disposable
You
phones.
can make 5 phone calls on them,
And that's it. Look,
and then that's it. Then they
break them and
yep, that's it.
yep. That's what they
It's
did.
got a certain amount of time, and when it runs out of time, it's done, and the
Mhm.
phone is no good.
Yep.
Throw away cell phones.
That's what they do now. It's
Yeah.
and then at
It's
7
kind
p.m.
of like when they used to do with remember when they first came out with them, what do they call them? Them cameras, those
Oh, the disposable cameras.
yeah, remember like the
pictures.
throwaway cameras, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, you
That
get
was
the
the
film
same
and
thing.
you
You take your pictures when it's done.
yep, and
That's
then
it.
you just put them in
You
there and yep.
turn the whole camera in.
And
You
then
get
they
your pictures and that's it. You
that
know?
was it. And then they recycle everything and you're done. Yep.
That's it, kid.
And then at 7 p.m. Eastern time that same day, that evening, we're gonna escape from Alcatraz. We're gonna be talking
You and
to
I are going to do that one. Yeah, Escape from Alcatraz. That's going to be. What do you know about Alcatraz, Bill?
I know that it was way out in the middle of the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean, where
It's
they
in the
had
middle of nowhere.
in the middle of nowhere, and you had to take a boat to even get to work.
Yeah, you did. You had to take a boat
Mhm.
to get there for sure.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
I felt bad for the security there. I mean, that was a bad. That was a worse job to have, I think, for
what
me.
the security go on that island?
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh, you couldn't give that job away.
Mm.
Are you serious?
Well, I mean, of course, whoever the criminals that they had at the time, the booming time that they had. Of
Do
course.
you know that they had, and this is a time when jobs were plentiful, right?
Hmm?
They had trouble filling that position of security officer at Alcatraz because the inmates there were so deadly,
Oh
so
well, yeah.
dangerous. The guards didn't want to because they would kill you in a heartbeat. These
Oh
guys.
yeah, just like that. Yeah.
You take your life in your hands going to
Mhm.
work.
Yeah.
Which
Hopefully
is
they paid you
crazy
enough.
stuff. Yeah, but I mean, what else do you know? Do you know anything else about the
Well, I know that it
Alcatraz?
was hardcore criminals, and of course you couldn't escape from there. But
Well,
somebody
they
did.
said it was inescapable, huh?
But some people did.
Yeah, a couple,
Mhm.
more than a couple actually. About
Uh-huh.
we know 3 of them, that's for
3 of
sure.
'em, yeah, and that's who you'll be speaking with is the nephew, right, of an
We
author.
we're going to have we're going to have Ken Widener and Michael Lynch here. Mike Lynch is the co-author of the book Alcatraz: The Last Escape.
Wow.
Ken Widener is actually the nephew of 2 of the guys who escaped. They were 2 brothers named John and Clarence Anglin. They were the Anglin brothers. They were notorious petty criminals. And the only reason they ended up in Alcatraz is because they had nowhere else to put them.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, they couldn't send them to local jail anymore because they kept getting out.
They knew the secret.
They kept getting out. So,
I'm
like,
not
I think, the police and law enforcement say, you know what? Gotta teach these guys a lesson a little bit, Put them out on the rock, Alcatraz, for a while. Let them stew it over for a little bit. Well, they stewed it over for about 5 minutes and said, we want the fuck
I
out of
think
this
they
place.
taught somebody else to listen.
Yeah.
Say, yeah,
Yeah.
guess what? It is escapable. So sorry, bye.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
And then
Well,
on
I'll
May
tell you what, and we
yeah,
got what else we got coming up next
May
week? We got a
7th,
couple shows.
May 7th is Epstein. We're going to revisit that subject because
Oh, new information in
Mhm,
Jeffrey Epstein. Are you
mhm.
ready for this, folks?
Yes,
Are you ready for this, Amelia?
this one made me like, whoa.
There is credible evidence floating around cyberspace that Jeffrey Epstein has been taken into the witness protection program,
Hmm.
that he did not die, was not murdered, and did not commit suicide. Jeffrey Epstein, they say, is alive and well in WITTEC.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys don't know what WITTEC is, Google that. Essentially, it's the highest level of the witness protection program.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what,
Mhm.
there is some credible evidence to suggest that, including some video that made its way around here very recently showing Mr. Epstein
Yeah.
overseas in Israel.
Yeah. Because like
Well, now we know he would be protected in Israel because he's Jewish,
Mhm.
and they're not going to dime him. Certainly, they're not going to send him here.
No, because like Mad Dog said, I mean, a cap, a hat, a glass, sunglasses can hide a person's identity.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And when we take a look at the evidence in the Jeffrey Epstein shit, whoa, man, you're going to shake your head and go, what the hell were we looking at?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Me and the pit bull, let me tell you something. We do some research here, folks.
Yes.
I do the research, and she sits there and looks good. Anyway, what else you got coming up
And
next
of course, the last one that we were talking about, that Mad Dog was talking about, was a serial killer, Charles Manson. We're going to be talking about him on May
Yes.
the 8th.
Next week, we're doing the last in our serial killer installment. That will be Charles Manson. We're going to be joined by anybody in that show?
Yeah, actually, we're going to be joined by Cue Ball. And he did a show with us a couple of weeks ago.
Cue Ball Carmichael was here a couple of weeks ago. His real name is Chris Jackson. He is a former police officer turned pro wrestler. I'm going to ask him, how the hell does that happen? And we may or may not be joined, depending on his schedule, by Lou Marconi. So what have you found out about Lou yet?
Lou said yes. Lou Marconi said yes.
So they're
and
both
so
going
did
to
Cue
join us.
Ball. Yes, they both said yes.
That works for me. Good stuff. Well, if there's nothing else on
That's
behalf of Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, I am the Mad Dog. And we will see you Monday, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
Don't forget.
God bless everybody. Be good to each other. Try to turn over a new leaf. I'm trying. It's hard, but I'm trying.
But
every day I tell Anita, at least once a day, I'm turning over a new leaf, and she just gives me that look like, go fuck yourself.
But don't forget the first show. We're going to do Mad Dog's going to do 10 a.m. Eastern time, Monday.
On Monday, yes. I got to get some sleep. Okay. Take care, folks. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.